Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So here I want to give you a guide for the new dungeon, the Imperial Citadel. So first of all, you'll enter here onto the decks of these ships and you need to go between them just killing ad groups. You'll kill the last of them on that set of the decks, and then you have these gravity generators where it is a bit of a tutorial as to what's going on. You see Captain there will tell you need to destroy them so that you get low gravity so that you can jump up here to the boss and free the prisoners. So you just kill the mini boss here. Maybe you want to run with single target mount powers and daily powers to get through him quicker, potentially with some artifacts too, but this guide will just be a basic guide. It won't have speedrun strats and it won't have achievement strategies. We'll get into those in separate videos. For now, I want to cover the basics so you can understand enough to be able to beat the dungeon successfully. So from here, you then jump off the plank and down onto this ship. It's pretty cool. You can get an achievement if you land in the crow's nest. And you just, again, kill more ad groups. You will then have to kill everything around this catapult here. Don't bite off more than you can chew. These ads can still one-shot you. Once you kill everything around the catapult, you need to interact with it, and then you see these spiders jumping in. These spiders have a charge bar. When that depletes, they will explode, and they cause massive damage, which will most likely one-shot you. So you need to kill them in time. This is again a tutorial for the first boss. So again, you just jump off this plank and you're waiting for the first boss. I would recommend having at least some multi-target damage going in here. You have multiple bosses, but again, you will be getting a lot of spiders which you want to kill before they explode to make things easier. So first things first, make sure the tank grabs the Thun Hulk. That's the main boss. But there is also this Scorpion and the Yuan-Ti. Now, I don't show much footage here of the Yuan-Ti, but that snake needs to be kept away from particularly the Thun Hulk, as it will just heal him. So what you need to do then is have the healer take the snake to the side and just tank it there. It doesn't deal much damage. Or you can have some damage dealer have some control powers on her. So if she's getting close, you'd have a wizard use a repel to push her back, and then like an entangling force to make her remain in that position. So you're just beating on the boss. You need to make sure you're targeting the Thun Hulk and not the Scorpion. The Scorpion you won't be able to kill. It has insane damage resistance, and then you will get spiders jumping in. And you need to again kill them before their little bar underneath their HP disappears. When that bar goes to 0, they explode and will one-shot a damage dealer. At this point, we've got the call from the Captain Flumph there that we need to jump up. What is important here is that you get the debuff that causes low gravity. And in order to get that, you have to deplete the hit points of the gravity generators. When you have 2 of them on no HP, the gravity generators will give you that debuff, allowing you to have low gravity. When you only have 1 destroyed, you don't gain that, and none destroyed also not. So you need to make sure their HP is down on 2 of them at least, and then you can jump up like this. And you keep jumping up all the time until the floor is no longer purple. Otherwise, you take this heavy damage over time and it will kill you if you stay on the floor at any amount of time. That is pretty much it for this boss. Keep the snake away from the Thun Hulk, kill the spiders, and make sure you deplete the hit points of at least 2 of the gravity generators. Just be aware, as a tank, you will get knocked up like this only when you have low gravity. And you only have low gravity when you have 2 or more of the gravity generators with no HP. The gravity generators will heal over time, regaining hit points, but they will also heal rapidly if the snake, the Yuan-Ti, is near them. So again, in this fight here, the Yuan-Ti is just way back at the back of the ship there, and we just have one of the wizards use control power on them, or you have the healer just sitting next to the snake and always just hitting it a bit and then healing the group from a distance. That is 2 ways you can play this. Once you do manage to kill the Thun Hulk, which we don't in time here before we get the next set of mechanics with regards to the gravity generator. See, we can't jump. And then we destroy this one, and now we can jump up. And then we can get away from the floor. Captain Flump, again, will tell you, like, the floor is lava. You can't stay on it or you'll die. So you kill the Thune Hulk, and once he's gone, then you can kill the Scorpion, and then you can kill the UNT. Before that, they just have insane damage resistance. The Thune Hulk will also have insane damage resistance while you have the floor is lava mechanic. So again, that's done. Both are dead, and you can kill the Snake and the Scorpion. And that's this first boss completed. From here, just make sure you go multi-target and you're in these gardens and you're just killing ad groups. Be aware you also have to do the other task, which is under the minimap there, detonate magic glyphs. You need to do 4 of them. So what we generally do is, the damage dealers and tank go ahead and the healer stays back and activates those glyphs, because you need to kill all the ads that are nearby before you can go ahead and do so. Other than that, it's fairly straightforward. You just have a lot of ads to kill. Be aware of them. They can hurt really hard. They can easily one-shot you. Make sure the tank goes first. And if you have the healer staying back, you need to even be extra careful to not lose too many hit points and have the ability to heal yourself a bit. Kill everything, and we're on to the second boss already, the Zodar. You again have the font in the middle. The mechanic with this is that if you step in the Astral font, that's the square tile there, you will take damage over time and you'll get stacks. And once you reach a certain amount of stacks, you're just dead. The stacks will drop off pretty quickly, so you can afford to go in there every now and again. And I would recommend it if you're a bit disorientated and these mirrors shoot off. So the mechanic here is that you have these 9 tiles and you have these crystals on the outsides. They will glow and then they will fire. You can see in a straight line covering those 6 tiles, and anybody within them will die unless you're potentially a tank. Then you can see the next set of crystals glow. They fire. So you need to continually move according to these crystals. The pattern on the crystals will be that they rotate 2 to the right. You can see these 2 fire, and then after these, the next set will start to glow, and you can see they're just rotated anti-clockwise 2 crystals over. So you're always just going from one center tile to the other center tile, jumping between them. And once you get to a certain phase, you then get 3 crystals glowing, and you only have 1 safe space then, except for the middle. But again, the middle is death after a certain amount of time. We can see we have one of the debuff stacks there in the top left. You get a bunch of those, you get stunned, and you will just die. You cannot stay in the middle for very long at all. Now this boss has a set rotation based on his hit points with regards to those crystals, or what you could say the mirrors. That's how I'm just going to call them. Additionally, just be aware of his tank buster. It is a multi-target hit on the person he's targeting, so don't be close to them. So once you get him to 90% hit points, that's when the crystals will start firing, those mirrors. And so first of all, you just get this double set. So you will have 2 tiles that are safe, excluding the middle, either side, and then they will rotate, and then you need to just move to the next tile over, and there you go. You can see which ones are safe. So it will always be like this. You can just continually jump between both those safe tiles until you get the boss to 60% hit points. Because at this point, you then get 3 crystals firing and only 1 tile will be safe. Like here at the top side. And then again, a few seconds later, you'll get another 3 crystals. They'll start glowing up, and you need to figure out what's the safe tile and move there. Like here, a bit panicky, but we just go into the middle and we're kind of safe, and you just want to get out of the middle then quickly again. That's always an option, but you cannot do that too many times. Here again, some of us do get to the safe tile, others in the middle. So you'll keep getting 3 mirrors like that and have to keep moving to the next safe tile up until you get the boss down to 30% hit points. So it's a little bit hectic with how much you have to move, but yeah, time your artifacts calls well during the mirrors when you get a little bit of a breather, when you know where to move, and then yeah, you could get through that chunk of hit points nice and quickly. I am looking for a pattern. The devs have said there is, and I'll update you that when we find something. But again, Just be aware of the boss's tank busters. You're moving a lot from one tile to the other because only one of them is safe. We've gone here, and then we need to move to the next one before the next crystals fire. We guessed wrong here, and so we have to move across the middle to here. It's okay, we just get one debuff. Of course, if you want the achievement, you'll have to avoid that. So once you get the boss to 30% hit points, you then get as the same as step 1 there, just faster. So you will have 2 safe tiles, but again, just alternate between 2 diagonal ones that are centered. But you can see the next set immediately starts glowing after the other set has fired. You do sometimes get a bit of a breather here, and then again, you get the next set, and then right after this one fires, the next set is already glowing. This will happen and get faster once you get the boss down to 15% hit points. So it gets really hectic. You have to move so quickly from one tile to the next, as these will be firing off just one after the other, and you just don't get much time to stand still at all. But just let them all fire out, and then you will get like a breather room, and you will be able to go and call artifacts and then finish him off. They fire off in a certain amount of sets before they give a little bit of a pause and then begin firing again. Once you do get the boss to 5%, you get like Sunfall, a heal check. So this will be where you get a ton of damage over time. You still have those mirrors. You might want to just move to the middle for here, and if people don't have stacks, you'll be able to survive long enough to kill him. And again, here you get stunned for being in the middle with so many stacks, and you die. This happens when you get to 4 stacks, but we completed it, and we can wipe here. We also got an achievement for that one. And from there, you just come back to the arena, you go as multi-target, and you need to kill the ads. Again, they do really hurt, so be careful. And they'll just keep spawning in for a time. If you do die, you can always just reset to the campfire and come back. That's not a big deal. You defeat the royal guards, and that's when you'll get your loot for completing the boss. So now you're on to the final boss, the most challenging one. First, you need to kill a wave of ads. I would recommend delaying to kill the hunter, as this guy will cause the boss to come in early. The hunter is to our right there, and we just killed these group here. And as soon as you do kill him, you can see Emperor Xeleth does show up, despite there being an ad or 2 left. Now he has quite a lot of mechanics, and there's quite a lot going on in this arena. And it will depend on his hit points and some timers. I have some sheets I made up earlier that will go through the different things you shall face. So you have these different debuffs, which will be negative conditions that affect you, that you will have to endure every 70 seconds or so, and they will last for about 30 seconds. Now which one you get is random. You will get a pop-up on screen like this one, which will form black holes. This one, which will cause you to deal less damage the further you are away from the Emperor. This one, which will cause red pools of fire to appear at your feet. Another causing you to take damage when you stop moving. And then one that just slows you down. And then one where you take damage if you do move. Every time you get one of these debuffs to trigger, it will add a level of instability. Now you will get the first one when you get the boss to about, I believe, 80% hit points. And here we got the black holes. Again, it increased our instability by 1. After that, again, every about 70 seconds, you get another one of these, which adds another level of instability. And you do have like a white noise ability where everybody takes damage no matter where you are. And the higher level of instability you are, the more damage you take. So it will start one-shotting you at some point. You can look out for that white noise effect when the middle starts glowing golden. Like you will just about make out here. It has this shimmer around it, and then it will burst outwards and everybody takes damage. Now additionally, he will shield 3 times. Once at 90%, once at 50%, and once at 25%. These shields will last 1 minute, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But you can break it early. However, I would not make that a priority. Just wait the minute. Save your artifacts for when he has actual hit points. That's when you can call artifacts and you can burn him down. Now once he does hit another threshold, about 75%, You will get some ads spawning in too, and if you've overphased, you'll have to deal with the debuff effect as well, and you might have these chains. There's a lot going on, but another thing that will really confuse the heck out of you is the clones. This can only happen again when you're between 50% and 25% of the boss hit points, but this can happen 3 times. We can see the boss is at about 50% hit points. We did overphase him a little bit. You kind of want to do that. And here the clones have appeared. They're full HP Emperor Xeleths. It doesn't really matter if you damage them. At least that's what we found. But they will do these cone blasts, just making big red cone telegraphs on the ground that will one-shot you if you stay in there. But the clones will stay there doing that for about 35 seconds. So you just bide your time here, kill off any ad groups. However, you might not want to kill all of them until the Emperor does reappear back. If he still has shield, then just wait, save your artifact call. Here it has expired, and we go artifacts and try and get that damage in to burst him down. Here we could have saved and waited a little bit because he did go and teleport. That's another thing with this boss. He's going to teleport an awfully annoying lot. Here he cloned again, and this is based on, as I found, a timer. He seems to stay for up to about 40 seconds before creating the clones again, and if he has not used all of his 3 charges, he will clone at 25% again. So keep in mind he will only clone 3 times. If you're in a really long fight, once you have gotten through the 3rd clone phase, you don't have to go through that all again. So that's a bit of a relief, but it is an awful lot of time wasting having to go through these clone phases. So in most cases, we try to get the boss down to 25% hit points as we do here. And at that point, he will clone anyway. So we're not really wasting much time. Again, you see that here, 25% hit points, and he disappears and clones. And again, it's just about waiting. Keep in mind, we do get some mobs spawning in here. And this is because there are no mobs left and the boss has gone and cloned. So he will always spawn mobs in at about 75% hit points, then at 50% hit points with a healer mob. So you need to focus the healer or he's just going to heal all the ads up again always, like for 1,000,000 hit points per tick. And then he will summon another wave of mobs if there's none left on the arena whenever he does his clones or his shields. So you could end up having a wave of ads every time he clones. And then again when he shields at 25%. So that gets very exhausting when you have so much of that. So you might want to just leave a few ads lying around. However, I still need to confirm if that is the case, which mobs actually count towards that. I have seen like the barbarian mob standing around and resulting in us not getting another wave when we expected to in other times. So the next part here is, the teleporting. It gets pretty annoying, but every time he does it, he will do the cone blast attack, and then he can potentially do the holy donut, which just requires you to be close or very far away. You can see that effect here. He does the cone blast and then he's going to do that holy donut. At least that's what the mechanic was originally called. It causes these orbs around him which will splash down, and if you're in that mid-range you will just get one shot and die. Then we go to the crystals. Yep, they are here too. Now, if we check this overview from the top down, you can see this is like his cone blast. It's going to cover that area. But then once you get him to that 90%, you can start getting the crystals activating. So these ones are from the center. Very straightforward. They're just put a red telegraph. Easy enough to avoid. Move out of the red. The harder ones to avoid are the crystals right here. You can see each will shoot towards the center. Sometimes they bug out and shoot outwards, which is weird. But then again, you'll get the middle activating. It'll be in whatever formation, just putting the red telegraphs on the ground. After that again, you get the crystals glowing, firing towards the middle. So you need to position correctly in order to avoid the crystals. That's the hardest part. They don't have a red telegraph. And well, the best way to do so is exactly like us. We huddle near the edge of the arena. So the tell is, again, you get the red telegraphs from the middle, and then you get the crystals glowing. So just move, make sure you position yourself exactly by this crown on the pillar. This one right here. You have to be right in the center. It's a very tight triangle here. That is the safe spot from the crystal on the other side of the map. Otherwise, you're going to die. And also the crystal that's beside you if that one was going to fire. So you just have to deal with that for the entirety of the fight. It's going to alternate between the middle firing with the red telegraphs and then the crystals lighting up and them firing. And it always happens one after the other. So if the middle fires, you know the crystals are going to be next. And we make sure we're positioned correctly there. And that's it. You're going to have to learn that. And it makes the fight an awful lot easier when you know that too. I don't know whether this safe spot is going to stay like that. But again, it's entirely around the arena at the base of those pillars where the crowns are. You need to be in the center. Other than that, the boss does have a tank buster. The animation for that will be when his hand starts to glow purple, as we see right here. And that will just charge up and then be directed at the tank. And he'll just take a bunch of area damage. Just, again, don't be within the group for that. And then finally, yeah, you have the charges. Like in other content where you get positive or negative. If you have the same signs, you're going to be repelled from each other. So don't get pushed into like red zones. And if you have opposite charges, you're going to be pulled together, attracted. And then if you do collide, you'll get a debuff like a chain, which should reduce your damage and also increase the damage you take. However, that's kind of broken right now and those debuffs have no effect. We don't know when it will get fixed. So just be on the lookout. For example, here we got charges. I'm negative, he's positive, and we collided. I mean, we got the chain debuff, but it has no effect on our damage right now because they broke that and I guess didn't fix it yet. Overall, that's the entirety of this dungeon. And that can be particularly tricky with the last boss, getting the timing right. And the way we generally do it is, yeah, wait on that shield, wait for a good time, particularly after he's teleported or if he has just recently teleported, then go for the artifacts when the shield has dropped off and burst him down again. It will be an awful lot easier this fight when you have good damage dealers. In terms of artifact calls, we go right from the beginning here and try to overphase. Catch him during animation and get him down to like 85% hit points rather than that 90%. Then it's just chipping down the shield and waiting. As soon as that shield then does go and expire again, you want to go artifacts. And you want to burn him down to like 60% ideally, if not lower. From there, you want to have enough time to chip him down further before he goes and does another debuff, as you just got the first there. So as soon as we can do the next artifact call, we do, getting him down to that 50%, ideally overphasing and even get him to like 45% before he goes and shields like here. You want to catch him again, ideally in an animation. And then you might get another debuff there. But he's also got the shield and you can only really wait. You also have the ads groups coming in. So just kill the ads. He also goes and clones here too. And so that's perfect timing with the shield. You needed to wait on the shield anyway. And now you got to wait on the clones. As soon as the boss is back and loses that shield, you do kind of want to go artifacts. But you might want to wait 2 seconds. Let him teleport and then go artifact call so that you can get as much damage in as possible during that debuff window. We ideally want to get him down to like 35 to 30% and have enough time to get him down at 25% before he does clones again. We managed to do so and his star stability, you see, is only on 2. And there come the clones. So it's just about waiting. Once the clones are gone, the boss is back, vulnerable at 25%, but he shields immediately. So it's back to waiting, killing another ad group. So star instability is at 4, The shield's just about to drop off, and we just got star instability 5. He teleports, and now we can go artifacts and get him killed. If you have significantly less damage than us, the entire fight will take significantly longer. Also, you do want to try and avoid killing adds when you can deal damage to the boss. Kill the adds when there's clones, and kill them when the boss is shielded. Other than that, try and have the tank kite them around while you just focus on the boss and kill him. Hopefully this helps you out with the dungeon, particularly for the master version. It's fairly straightforward once you actually know what you're doing. So good luck and have fun.